Have you ever been in the position that you've sent out quotes to clients and they are not responding back? Have you ever felt like a client has actually ghosted you? You followed up once, twice, and poof, they just never respond back to you, and you may be wondering why. If this is happening to you, you are not alone. And this video is going to teach you everything you need to know about client retention and client conversion as a event industry professional. Hey there, everyone. Hi, my name is Jessie with Greeneyedambition, where we talk about all things unsexy about running a business in the event industry. On this channel, we talk about systems, client experience, and yes, the follow-up that helps you with being able to grow and scale a multiple 6 and 7-figure business. Let's be honest, the event industry is often moving super fast. People are usually inquiring and shopping around for different types of services, and people disappearing can be a part of the whole process. What you'll find is that it's not because they weren't interested, it's because we didn't have a solid follow up strategy to be able to convert clients. So let's fix that today. Here's the painful truth: client retention doesn't start when they book. It starts from the moment that they inquire about your services. And if you're trying to manage all of your leads through email, DM, memory, paper, post-it notes, scrap pieces of paper, you're probably losing bookings. I know, because I've been there before. And as a corporate event planner, I've also had people lose the opportunity to work with me due to their poor follow-up and processes. I want to share this with you because some of you that are watching this video may be event vendors, and you may currently be in the position where people are inquiring about your services and you're wondering, why is it that everyone isn't following up or they're not booking? It may be because you aren't doing what's necessary inside of your own strategy. For example, I remember last year I was reaching out to a vendor for something for Valentine's Day. And I kept reaching out to this client, and eventually I was just like, well, I guess this person just is not interested. And then they sent me a DM back or responded back to my emails and my DM almost 4 months later saying, hey, I don't know how I didn't see this. And I'm like, well, thank you, I guess. I don't want that for you, because by not doing that, it automatically made me feel as if they were a liability if I really wanted to work with them. So I just decided that it wasn't a great option. Poor follow up can be a big deterrent for people to work with you, especially for individuals that value professionalism and proper communication. In fact, recently I had reached out to someone I worked with prior. I sent them emails. I left them voice messages. I saw their Instagram. They didn't post anything in a long time. I assumed that they went out of business, unfortunately, because I was like, okay, like all the ways I normally reached out to them. I even went and did a order inquiry form because I just was not getting any replies, and because nothing was automated, they just did not respond until like 5 to 6 days later. And I had already spoke to my client. I said that I think this company is out of business, so let's pick someone else. And what happened was then that vendor responded back, was like, oh no, we've been so behind, that's why we didn't respond. Don't be that person. On YouTube, I like to talk about different platforms that can potentially help with solving this problem. And each one of you are in different stages of your business. Some of you may be brand new. You're not even using a CRM. You don't even know what a CRM or a business software platform would be or why you would use it. Some of you may just be in a solopreneur stage where you're making money. You may have a few people that are helping you as a consultant, but then there are some of you that are watching this video that actually have several team members and you're wanting to grow and scale. So I wanted to share with you today a platform that I have spoken about before on here, and it's called Releventful. And it truly is a platform that can help you with changing everything inside of your business for those of you that have 3+ members inside of your business. Releventful is a CRM, which is also known as a client relationship manager, but specifically for event professionals. And here's what it does. It allows for you to automatically track new inquiries. It allows for you to send follow-up messages via email or text, depending on how you prefer to communicate with your leads. It also allows for you to have a visual pipeline that allows for you to understand who's hot inside of your sales funnel, or who are the individuals that may need a gentle nudge and reminder. So if you are someone that is in a position where you have a big team, you will find that this platform can be extremely impactful for you, especially for those of us that are in positions that we feel as if there's so many moving pieces between team members, vendors, clients. You don't want it to be that everything is based off of memory. You want it to be that the system that you're using, all the software that you're using, is helping to relieve some of the stress that goes along with running your business from day to day. And what you'll find is that your follow up will be more seamless. Your clients will stay engaged, you'll stay organized, bookings will come faster. And you'll find that it's a better way to run your business than doing things manually. In fact, right now I'm working with a client, but on a different software platform, and she's been in the industry for a long time. And she was saying the biggest thing about event industry professionals that have been in the industry for over 10 years, they're often not knowing why platforms can help them, and they're not sure which software to actually invest in because they've been doing things manually for so long. If that is you, this is definitely the time for you to think more about what platform is going to be the best platform so that you are able to optimize your team and help with the efficiency. So you may be wondering, how do you know if this platform is great for you? I know that individuals that are event planners, be it on the wedding and corporate side, that may not want to have C-suite software, this is a great option. Even for caterer teams that are part of hospitality groups, you'll find that DJ or entertainment production companies can also use this. Or you might just be a vendor that has different locations and you're massive. Like I had a client that I worked with that they eventually were getting so many bookings that they brought on other team members that were able to execute that service. So then they didn't always have to be everywhere. They were able to assign team members to also execute those events. What you'll find is that when you have a lot of moving pieces inside of your business, client retention needs to also be a focus. We find that event professionals like to rely on the end result, and not always taking in consideration the start to end and the entire client journey. You want it to be that you're guiding your client along the way and it's not the client leading you. What I'll have happen is that coaching clients or individuals that reach out to me for advice, they'll complain about people micromanaging them, or they're always getting messages at weird times. I'm like, well, the reason why you're probably getting that is because you still are utilizing manual processes instead of thinking ahead and building out your client journey to be able to have a solid process. Do you ever feel like you are always reinventing the wheel inside of your event business? What if you had workflows to help with improving your client experience and how you're executing your services? There is a stress-free way to run your business, and I have a free resource to help you with navigating how to go about creating that inside of your business. That's why I have created a free training that's intended to help event industry business owners with being able to streamline how they're doing their services so that you are no longer wasting time, potentially making mistakes, or losing clients. This quick training will walk you through how to go about creating your process. It also includes some free printouts and worksheets to help you with being able to map out your plan. Don't let your back office hold you back anymore, and take the time to download the free resource that's in the description today. So I want to share with you 3 areas in which I do believe is important to think about how to include follow-up throughout your entire process. The first place that you want to think about follow-up, of course, is in your inquiry process. That is the first impression. You don't want it to be that you have a person that's interested in working with you and it's taking you 4 months to reply back, or that you just never reply back because you didn't even know that you lost that opportunity. So you want to sit there and think, if I have this type of client, if I offer this specific type of service, I want to have how many touch points and how spaced out do I want to have those? For me in the corporate space, would I have a follow-up email going to a client every day? No, because that will turn someone off. So you do want to keep in mind too, when you're doing follow-up, you want to make sure that it's going to be intentional. I've seen people sell workflows to individuals and they're spamming the heck out of individuals every day. And I'm like, you're probably turning off more clients than anything. So just put yourself in your client's foot. What I recommend you putting yourself in your client's position to sit here and think, if I am someone that's serving individuals that are busy, how often should I be sending follow-up messages? Should it be every 3 days? Do I send only one follow-up? Do I do 3 follow-ups? Do I have it that one of my follow-ups is a phone call? Is it a text? In those follow-ups, what am I saying? Am I sharing reviews? Am I sharing why people like us? Am I sharing videos of what it's like to work with us? Like, add value while you're also following up. Don't just be like, hey, are you interested? If you're ready, just respond back. Don't do that. You do want to understand how you're going to add value. The second way that you want to also think about follow-up is going to be in the payments or you sending out proposals to people. I've had it where people will assume, oh, this person, they weren't serious about it. I sent them the invoice and they didn't sign it. Maybe they opened it and forgot that they didn't sign it. And that's why they're now reaching out to you several days or a week before the event because they thought that they did something that they didn't do. So you want to think about when you're sending out your proposals, having potential follow-ups just again to find out exactly if someone's interested. You want to keep in mind that same framework. How soon do you send those follow-ups? What is said in them? And knowing exactly in what method you're going to do those follow-ups. And the third area where I always recommend for people to do follow-ups, specifically while we're onboarding and doing the planning process, this is not just for planners, this can also be for DJs or bartenders. In your follow-ups, if you're doing any onboarding questionnaires, if you're having any event day questionnaires, you do want to follow up or add value through that process. So to me, follow-up can be checking in to find out if there's anything that they need additional support, or it can be sending them a message along the way to say, these are some tips I recommend for you when you're booking a 360 photo booth. For those of you that have 360 photo booths, take in consideration when we're looking to have a great follow-up and strategy inside of our booking process. You want to always think to yourself, how do I add value? How do I support my clients so that they feel a level of trust with working with me? And you can do all of this inside of a business software system. Whenever I help somebody with figuring out what is the best process or client flow or client journey they need to have for their business, once it's all completed, they're like, oh my goodness, like this is going to relieve the stress of figuring out what is due next, or that moment of thinking to yourself, okay, did I do this? Did I send this person this message? And these random fears in the middle of the night where you wake up, you're like, hold on, I didn't do X, Y, and Z. Using a platform like Releventful, it will help you of closing the gap in communication and making yourself look like an expert that you are and adding value to your clients in a powerful way. So if you're tired of ghosted leads and missed bookings, it's time for you to upgrade your follow-up game by considering a business software platform like Relevantful, as well as thinking to yourself, how do you want your clients to feel about you in the beginning processes? And how do you allow automations to add value through that entire time? And if you want to be able to see exactly how to set up your workflow, or you're curious about what your workflow would look like, I do have a free resource that is below that will allow for you to access my game plan on how to go about creating a client experience that your customers will love. So just remember, you don't need more leads. You just need to get better follow up so that you're not leaving any money on the table and you're helping to improve your conversion. So this is Jessie from Greeneyed Ambition. Until next time, peace.